What's up? I'm AJ and welcome back to GenZGarage.
Why, hello there. I am your host, AJ, of this brand new episode of GenZGarage, the riveting channel in which I shall today be continuing the Corvette, C4 Corvette engine restoration. Here is what we shall be doing.
In our previous video, we began the teardown and cleanup of the engine bay. The link to that video will be at the top right of the screen. In this video, we will be replacing the timing chain and nylon gears, removing and repairing the exhaust manifolds, painting the engine in GM corporate blue, installing a new harmonic balancer, installing a brand new water pump, installing a new AC condenser, reinstalling the radiator, shroud and fan, repairing the entire electrical system plus fusible links, reinstalling the modified exhaust manifolds, replacing the spark plugs, removing the TBI units for later rebuilding, and finally, removing the intake manifold for cleaning and porting. I start by removing the timing cover. Dropped it. I plan on replacing the chain and the nylon gear, so I remove the bolts and pop off the cam gear. I keep the stock crank gear, but replace the cam and timing chain with OEM design quality replacements from Cloys. I then reinstall and tighten down the 3 cam sprocket bolts, and then torque them down to 20 foot-pounds. It's important to remember that when replacing either sprocket or as a set, the indicators on each gear must line up as shown in the picture. If you're digging into the timing cover, it's highly recommended you replace the old cam gear. These gears have nylon-coated teeth which start to crack after only a few years and can lead to engine timing failure. It's always advisable too that if you're in this far, to replace the timing chain as they also stretch and can affect optimal valve and engine timing. Before reinstalling the timing cover, I lightly sanded and painted the cover, installed in a new crank seal, and glued a new Felpro seal using a coating of RTV sealant and some clamps. Once dry, I begin applying more RTV sealant on the other side where it mates to the engine block. Make sure to add extra RTV sealer to the corners just above where it meets with the oil pan. This is a common leak point on the small block Chevy. With the pan ready, I install it back onto the engine block. There are 2 pins that protrude from the engine that help to hold it in place. Keep in mind, you may need to unbolt the oil pan slightly in the front to allow for the pan to properly reinstall. With the pan set in place, I begin reinstalling all of the timing cover screws. I then torque them down to 8 foot-pounds. Next, I remove all of the old spark plugs from the engine. I plan to remove the exhaust manifolds next, and it's easier with the plugs already out. Then I remove all of the exhaust manifold bolts. With that, I can then lift the manifold off the header pipe and away from the engine. I then reinstall the old plugs hand-tightened to help prevent bugs or dirt from getting into the combustion chamber. We'll just ignore the fact that I have open exhaust ports. After some more degreasing and an hour or so of dry time, I begin masking off the engine bay so that I can paint the engine block. You'll notice that we swapped out the valve covers with a spare set we got from Corvette Generations. We plan to reuse the originals, but we'll clean them up and repaint them first. I hit the engine with some high-temp metal etching engine primer first. I wait 30 minutes and then go over it with GM Corporate Blue Engine Enamel by Seymour. I let that set for about 10 minutes and then begin removing the masking paper. I now turn my attention to the Harmonic balancer. The old balancer isolation rubber was cracked and peeling, and the balancer donut had already started to slip and separate from the hub. I went with a new balancer from Dorman. But first, I put a little bit of assembly lube onto the crank to ease the installation. I then press the balancer on as far as I can with my bare hands.
There's gotta be a more efficient way to do this than just batting.
I then use a socket wrench with a balancer installation tool to carefully reinstall the balancer. Finally, I reinstall the freshly painted crank pulley. Make sure to use blue Loctite on the threads and torque them to 25 foot-pounds. An interesting tidbit I noticed. These crank pulleys were also used in the V8s that General Motors sold to AMC, as you can see by the arrow. Next, in goes my brand new AC condenser.
Boom! Into the slot. Boom! Into the other slot. Kabow! I just did that.
The old condenser could have been reused, but replacement ones are so inexpensive it just wasn't worth the time and effort to clean and flush the old one. Next, I reinstall the original radiator, which I've already cleaned and flushed. Next, I install the water pump. I spread a thin layer of water pump RTV sealer onto the gaskets, and then carefully place them on the water pump. Although not needed, it helps to have a second hand to hold the water pump while you thread the bolts so you don't smear the RTV sealant. It's important to mention that there are a few things you'll want to know when reinstalling the pump. The diagram in the shop manual is not entirely correct. In the image, it shows two shorter studs on the passenger side, with one long stud on the driver's side. The passenger side actually must have the two larger studs, with the shorter stud on the driver's side. Also, make sure you use PTFE or thread sealer on these bolts, as they directly intrude into the coolant passages and will leak if they're not properly sealed. While I bought a brand new water pump, I did reuse the pulley. I sanded this down with a wire wheel attachment and painted it with a black epoxy paint for durability. When the bolts are properly installed, make sure you remember to torque them down to 35 foot-pounds. Next, I hand wash the fiberglass radiator shroud with dish soap and reinstall it. Then I reattach the upper transmission coolant line into the radiator. And finally, I reinstall the radiator fan. For good measure, I also reinstall the dryer bracket, but I'll install the hoses and charge the AC in another video. Okay, let's deal with the wiring. Unfortunately, the wiring in this car was completely shot. It's actually amazing the car even ran at all. Nearly every single fusible link in the engine compartment had been fried. What's weird is that while the fusible link wires were shot, they didn't completely short out, leaving them as scorched bare metal wires. What's even more crazy is that this car had two positive battery cables. I removed the distributor so I could gain access to the cables and quickly discovered why. At some point, the transmission had been removed and likely rebuilt. When they reattached the transmission, they pinched the battery cable between the case and the engine, as you can see in the image. They likely put everything back together and started the car, which then shorted out all of the fusible links.
What the heck? It's like a tree or hair.
The replacement battery cable didn't fare too much better either, as it had worn through and melted alongside the engine block.
Escape, please. Yay.
I found a really good original replacement from a 1985 parts car, which fit perfectly. It even had 3 power leads in case I want to add something in the future. I replaced all of the fusible links with correct gauge replacements, and then installed everything back where it belongs. Unfortunately, the issues don't stop there. Nearly every single electrical connector in the engine bay had been broken or damaged. I think I counted less than 5 connectors that didn't need to be replaced. I changed out the map sensor connector and plan to replace the rest of them when I start putting everything back together. I also cleaned up many of the original sensors which still worked and replaced the ones that were damaged, like this NOx sensor. I have no idea what happened to this, or this oil temperature sensor that my dad cleaned up for me with a wire brush attachment on a power drill. Okay, let's get to the exhaust manifolds. These factory manifolds are almost like shorty headers. My dad ordered a spare set, ground off the air tubes, had a machine shop drill and tap for new bolts, and then had me weld close the air injection holes.
So you're moving too fast.
No, but I got it!
Okay.
I did it fully! That is fully sealed! Do you see that? I'm not moving too fast. I'm literally cooking! Oh my god, I can weld! Oh my god! Do you see that? After they cooled off, I painted them with 2000 degree paint, header wrapped them, and reinstalled the Therm AC heat shielding. Let's get them installed. I put some blue Loctite on these to make sure that they don't come loose. And I've got this brand new gasket. Oh, it's shimmering in the light. I've got this brand new gasket that I'm gonna install. With the air injection tubes removed, the exhaust manifold is much easier to install, and access to the sensors and everything else is now much easier. I'm trying to get this to the right. I'll go to the right when this is at the right. Oh, random ass screw just stabbed me. What the heck? That is not cool, car. This car is continuously fighting me. Every time I put something on it, like... I first loosely install the two outermost bolts. With these holding the manifold in place, I can then slide the new exhaust manifold gasket in between, which intentionally has two notched gasket holes for resting on the two outer bolts. I then continue installing the exhaust manifold bolts and hand tighten them down with my stubby wrench. And then I torque them down to 25 foot-pounds. Ooh, that one was already good. Oh, that one too. Did we just like accidentally torque them down to the right specification? After doing the other side, I then installed the spark plugs. We're gonna be going with these E3 pre-gapped spark plugs. So these are nice, and I'm gonna be installing them right now. I thread them carefully by hand, and hand tighten them as much as possible. I then use the torque wrench and torque them down to 18 foot-pounds. I'm going to remove the top plate and the intake manifold. I start by removing the fuel line that connects the two throttle bodies. Make sure to use a flared nut wrench so that you don't round off the fuel line fittings. Next, I begin removing all the individual brackets, which I will be cleaning and painting. I like the way this one sounds. It's like, oh my gosh, GenZGarage ASMR? Or something, I don't know. I don't have long enough nails for that. It's worth mentioning that as you remove many of these top plate items, you'll want to take as many pictures as possible. This will help ensure that you know where everything goes when you put it back. Yeah. Hooray! And then the throttle bodies themselves. That is a really long screw. It did not look that long when it was in the other thing. Oh, that one's here to attach. Okay. Here you go. Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, here you go. No, actually I'm keeping this one for myself. And the intake plate. It's kind of dangerous to leave these holes open because bolts could fall in and stuff, and we don't want to do that, so we're just gonna fill it up with some towels. Shop rag, mechanic's best friend. The top plate is held on by a combination of both bolts and studs. There are also 2 different size bolts being used as well. Again, make sure you take plenty of pictures so you know where all of the bolts went before you remove them, so you can be sure to put them back in the right place.
But there's better technology. The thing is...
Could they still make it shaped like a turret?
Well, there's newer technology that doesn't even require that. It's just better engine and computer time.
Could they just put like a random empty one somewhere so it seems like a little turret?
Well, so I'm leaving it on there because
I like the turret.
the computer is programmed and expecting it to have a certain amount of exhaust gases in the intake.
It's removable. Look at all that. It's interesting. And finally, the intake manifold. With all the bolts removed, I can now remove the intake. But you may need to persuade it just a little bit to break free. I'm doing this because these are spares. And with that, it's off. So there doesn't appear to be any bent push rods and everything looks really good. So I'm glad that it's in the shape that it is. In the next episode, we're going to be rebuilding the engine, like fully fixing it, and hopefully, most likely, definitely, we will be starting the engine, which we haven't done in a bit because it's been under construction. So if you want to see that, make sure you like and subscribe so that way you can see this video. Also, it's pretty awesome. Have you heard a little something about SEMA? So SEMA is trying to deregulate the over-regulations and like the stupid stuff that people are trying to do, like ban racetracks, because apparently there's people out there who are insane and don't like racetracks. And SEMA doesn't like them, so we're keeping like they're pushing for right to repair, right to modify, right to race, all those good things. And I'm gonna be helping them out, and I'm gonna be going up to Congress in May, and I'm gonna be lobbying Congress to make sure all of these like good laws are passed, so that way we don't have bad laws that are passed. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications. I have a GenZGarage Instagram. I believe it's linked in my channel description. If it's not, I'll just put it in this video somewhere in the description. Go check that out. I talk about when I'm at car shows, and I'll probably be vlogging on that page about like going up to DC. So if you want to see that, make sure to follow that account, and if you want to see stuff here, subscribe to this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Yes, my nails aren't chipped.